before you went on stage, like everyone saw that. So question to ask yourself, does every student and parent, do they know that we are ready for them and expecting them? Do they know that we're ready for them and expecting them? So that's programming. So I wonder then, what do we do with discipleship? Because I haven't talked about that at all, or depth, or like everything so far has been geared towards like the new student, the unchurched student. What do we do with it? Decentralize it. Put it in the hands of leaders and parents. Parents are going to be the number one influencers of faith, or guardians, or whatever the kid's situation is in their life. Their number one influencer is their parent. At best, if they come Sundays and Tuesdays, I have them for 2 hours a week. And Tuesdays aren't even a real like discipleship thing. It's just chaotic. So Sundays, we have 1 hour of like growth. That's like nothing. That's nothing. And so if we don't decentralize discipleship and put it back in the hands of leaders and parents, we're doing a disservice. And I think of, how many guys have seen Gladiator? All right, I should know my audience better than this. In Gladiator, there's a scene where, like, at the end, the main character is a gladiator, and he duels the emperor, right? The emperor is like an unjust, super like dictator, like no one likes him, and he's taking control of Rome away from the people, and it's like he centralizes it on himself. Well, they fight, and like they basically kill each other. Like it just happens that the main character dies like 3 seconds after the emperor, right? But with his last breath, he goes, "Give the republic back to the people." That's like give discipleship back to the people. That's like the moment, right? So we don't want to make like ministry disciples. I'm not making disciples of Tyler or like the product I want to put out. I'm making disciples of Jesus, right? And so this is actually one of the most important things that we do. And in order to do this really well, you have to keep vision in front of the ministry at all times, especially the leaders and even the students. Keep the vision in front of them, because here's the truth. No one cares more about the ministry and the vision than you do. No one cares as much as you. People can be followers of Jesus and engaged, and they can be like churchgoers. No one will care about the mission like you do. So if we're not communicating that mission, that vision with every email, with every interaction, with every meeting, with every leader training, with every interaction with parents, then it's going to get lost. And if you are running after that mission and vision without communicating it, you will be alone in the mission and vision, and that place really sucks. It's not a fun place to be. Over-communicate the mission and vision, but not just to parents and leaders, but also to students. If we send up on Sunday during our middle school program and say, "Hey, why do we do squad nights?" All of our students can tell you to bring our friends. They know that. If we ask, "Hey, leaders, what's the win in our ministry overall to get students to own their faith?" That's the win. That's the win. If we're not communicating that, then we're alone in it, because no one really cares as much as you do about it. In the same way that no one cares more about it than your senior pastor probably does in the board. Just no one does. But it doesn't mean that we can replace decentralizing discipleship with not having a plan. That's not what that means. And so at our church, what we've done, and this we started in Pennsylvania, it worked really well, and we brought it here to Raleigh, was this. This is our middle school discipleship path that all students are encouraged to go on their own time. Because every student's different. Every student hits puberty different, they mature differently, they experience Jesus differently. So I'm not going to make every student grow at the same pace. So we've given this to every small group leader, and we've given this to parents and students. And the goal is like be able to ask our leaders, "Hey, we have like first-time guests up in the corner, and we have all the way through going to high school down here. And along the way, there's things like salvation, and then baptism, and then like checking in, how's your relationship with God going? And then getting them plugged in and serving. And then every now and then, hey, have them lead the small group and you just kind of watch, right? So every student can go this on their own. So the goal is, if I were to go up to a small group leader and say, "Hey, Jeremy, that student Braden in your group, on here, where is Braden? Has he been baptized?" "Yes." "Okay, so has he do you think he's owned his own faith? Do you think he's having like regular like prayer and quiet times?" "I don't know yet." "Hey, check in on that and just ask him and offer to like walk alongside him." And it makes it a super easy next step, a super easy discipleship tool. And so we have a way to decentralize it to where every student can grow in their own faith and their own pace, but we have a definite plan in place. And there are things that our church has set, like as a church, we value serving selflessly. It's one of our 5 marks. And so we put serving on there. We did this in conjunction with our leaders. But this has honestly been a game changer for us because I don't think the answer to discipleship is more programs. I don't think so. I think it's just one-on-one relationships with a good adult mentor. I almost said we have high schoolers leading as well, but I believe in the adult mentor model. So a question to ask yourself on this one: ultimately, who am I entrusting to make disciples? Myself or the church that God is building? As youth pastors, listen, we have a passion for this. We want to do it all on our own. But God's building a church. Can we collaborate not only with other churches, but with our adults in the church to see the life of the kid changed? Don't do it yourself. Bring in people. Next one. Pour into your leaders regularly with huddles, trainings, and relationships. This is the biggest culture shift that I've seen in any of my ministry career. I always was quick to say no for my volunteers without ever asking. Like, why would I plan a huddle or a training 30 minutes before every single youth group? That's just more time here. That's more time away from their families. They're not going to want to come that early. On Sundays, it means you're getting here like 30 minutes early on Sunday morning for our first service. And then coming between services, for our second service huddle at 11:15, you're giving up your pre-service, your between service, like hangout time with your friends to come to a huddle. I've never done that. It's like, no, they're not going to want to. I'm just going to say no for them. The biggest lie I ever bought into was that leaders won't do more. Ask them. Expect them. Build a culture. And so with our huddles, we use our time wisely. We keep it to 10 to 12 minutes because we want them out, hanging out with students before service starts. But we keep it to a need-to-know basis. They don't really need to know what songs we're doing. They don't need to know what order songs. They don't need to know like what games we're going to play unless we need volunteers. They don't need to know these things. They don't. They need to know that there's a response time for students. They need to know like brain development. They need to know how to have an effective small group when no one's talking. They need to know these training points. So every single Sunday, we take 10 minutes and train. So over the course of the year, how many hours is that? I'm not good at math, but it's more than one. I'm guessing. My math is 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. That's the Trinity, so I'm not really good at math. But it's just a way to like say, I'm investing in you, and no one wants to come to a Saturday morning like training. Like no one. We do it at our church twice a year, but no one wants to go to it. But if we can train on the go as we go, it will transform your ministry in 3 ways. You're going to move from babysitters to investors, right? From babysitters to investors. And so for this one, without routine, meaningful equipping and training, they are babysitting and leading in discussion. But with trainings and investment, they're going to invest intentionally in their few. Otherwise, they're babysitting. You can increase their effectiveness. You increase their effectiveness and impact they have with their few. And then lastly, which may be the most important, you see major alignment. So your ministry goes from a bunch of volunteers running in what they think the win is, what they think they should be going after, to volunteers who are all going after the same exact thing. And that's a powerful thing. That's an incredible thing. And so this is the first church I've ever been a part of that did like these huddles and these alignments that often. One of the biggest game changers I've ever seen. And I'm lucky because if I were taking this job today without it, I probably wouldn't start it. Because my gut is to say no for my volunteers. I'm right there. My gut is to always protect my volunteers and say, nope, they wouldn't do that, because I wouldn't do that. But man, like if you ask, a lot of our volunteers, a lot of our leaders will rise to the occasion, rise to the challenge, and you'll have like just a better ministry for it. So a question to ask yourself, do all of my leaders know what the win is? Do all of them know what the one win is? And our win, we want to see students take steps to own their faith. That's the win. That's the win in MSM in Raleigh at our church.